Hello, welcome back. Today, I'm so excited. I had someone request this video, and I'm like, dude, this is such a good idea. How did I not come up with this? And he asked for it like 2 months or like two, not 2 months, like 2 weeks ago. I've been busy. We're back on it now. I'm actually very excited. This is a very chill, easy video to make, and like just takes pure, just being a fan. Think about this stuff. So this is gonna be really good. Sorry, I still am rocking beanie. Have not got a haircut. I need to get a haircut. Been on my chud shit. Been on my chud shit. Um, should we just get it started? We're gonna start off with the only women's division 135. There's not too many like women fighters that have been in and out of DBX to like solidify honestly like a 125 division is a 125 division as well. So we're only gonna do the 35 women's division, but I think it's obvious, but I don't know if the owners of Dirty Boxing still hate Kat Nelson, but it's Paula Bittencourt versus Kat Nelson. Like, this is the true DBX fight to make. Like, how do you not make this fight? We all know Kat would have beat Jessie Jess. I underestimated Paula. I thought Jessie Jess was going to do her. People think she got robbed, which is only because she's hot, like I said. But I'm not here to hate. I'm just here to relate. You know what I mean? Type of shit. But yeah, bro, imagine that fight. Kat's precision, her elbows. Same thing with Paula. Her striking's good. Obviously, she's really good grappling too. She's Brazilian, but her little Freudian slip. Her boxing is really good as well. uh, Same goes for Kat Nelson, obviously, but this is the fight to make, or this just would be a crazy fight to even watch. Like, I headline an event with this, I'm there. I'm buying that. Headline, bro. If it's anywhere within like a 500-mile radius, I'm there. Like South Carolina, I'm there. Florida, I could be there. If it's Kat Nelson's headlining, I'm there. But that's it for the women's division. I'm not gonna yap too much. I know there's this beef going on. I feel like they just need to relax and realize that Kat Nelson's what they need as a face of the DBX division, but while still respecting their MMA, journey, because you do that for every other fighter as well. But on to the next. Um, for the men's division, starting off, and then let me just say this. I am inventing the 135 division right now in this video, and this is the fight to make to start that off. This is not a title fight. This is just for the 135 men's division. This is the one you just make to like start off the division, if that makes sense. And they're both 0-1. I'm not gonna lie, but just the matchmaking skills it takes to make this match happen. For the pure elbow entertainment and clinch work and just like Muay Thai v Muay Thai, like striking, like just striking insane. DBX is already crazy, but like this would be crazy starting off the 135 division. We have Akeem the Dream Bashir versus Matt Muniz. And I was talking to Akeem in the gym or whatever, and this is not even just bias. It might be a little bit, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're both on one. It is what it is. They're both. Akeem's fight was at like lightweight, I think, or it said on the DBX website it was at lightweight. It might have been at featherweight, actually, but you know how it be. And then Matt Muniz fought against Haskell Rhodes at featherweight, I believe, or maybe it was like a catchweight around there. When he said he usually fights like 35 or 25 even. So I think both of you guys could make 25, but 35 is really where we should lay around here. One day I hope there's a 125 division in DBX, bro. That'd be fucking crazy. Like two like flies, fucking going crazy in that small ass fucking square, bro. That'd be cool. But yeah, think about the elbows in this. Just the step in elbows from Akeem. The fucking Superman uppercuts from Matt Muniz, bro. Like, that's fucking insane. Not even that, but like, you could, bro. I would pay to see this in a Muay Thai match. Like, put him in Kumai or Kumite or whatever they say that shit. Like 125-minute round. Let's go. Yeah, we're going to 145 division. This is the title fight to make. Obviously, it's Montavious Ware versus Gabriel Urit. There's not anyone else I want to see fighting for the 145 inaugural belt than this. Before DBX 6, I was like, oh, Montavious Ware versus Diego Zuniga. Two boxers going crazy at it. I'm not even feeling that no more, bro. Like, just not even feeling that no more. And I don't even know if Diego Zuniga's going to return to DBX. Who knows? I don't know. But, I don't know with half these fighters. So, yeah, Montavious Ware versus Gabriel Urit. Two people that obviously want to stay in dirty boxing and have communicated that. But not even just that. But Montavious Ware's boxing, Gabriel Uritz's boxing is really good too. But the power and the crafty elbows, the clinch, Montavious Ware is really just more of a boxer. He's been working the elbows, but he didn't really throw any crazy elbows in the Luis Saldana fight. But he still won that shit, did what he did. He got, hit with his spinning back elbow. He got rocked. It is what it is. Lost the second round, blah, blah, blah. What about the first and the third? Anyway, one took that shit home. But yeah, that's just the fight to make. Two high-level DBXers or whatever you want. Two high-level DBXers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, tell me that doesn't sell you, bro. You could, I hope that DBX eventually would do like, double title fight events. Like, that'd be really cool. Like, obviously just co-main the women's one. Like, bro, imagine co-main Kat Nelson and Paula Bancourt with the main event of the featherweight men's division of Montavious Ware versus Gabriel Urit. Like, where would that even be, bro? In like Pennsylvania. Honestly, bring that back to Miami. That would be sick. But who fucking knows? For 155, let's go to 155, the lightweight division. Obviously, two dudes who are 3-0, Milos Janicic versus Corey Jackson. And Milos Janicic has been fighting at catchweights above lightweight and fighting at welterweight and doing all these things. But I think it's because he doesn't want to take DBX as seriously because he is chasing MMA, and I respect that because that's where the money is. And Milos Janicic is really good. So, but I think you just send him a contract. Like, hey, if you want to take this serious, since the UFC hasn't given you any offers, keep in mind the UFC is going to Serbia, and he called out for that after his DBX fight. So obviously he's searching for that, but there's no one clear for Corey Jackson besides this in the lightweight division. No one makes sense, really. Like, they need to add like 3 lightweight fights on the next card to get some sort of momentum in lightweight. The lightweight division is behind, and it's low-key fucking Corey. So, we need to get that figured out. But yeah, I said you go to Milos Janicic with the contract, be like, hey, take this one seriously. Corey Maximus Jackson, take this one seriously. Give him a bag. Don't gotta give him crazy bread. Like, it's just DBX, you know what I'm saying? Young promotion, everyone understands. But make sure, negotiate. Make sure shit's good. AJ, make this happen. Please make this happen, bro. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna predict none of these fights. But if I were to, I'll do that then. Actually, after I go through all of them, I'll go through all of them again and predict how I think they go. Because I just want to tell you what it is. 170 at welterweight. The only true fight to make, and I wasn't gonna put Jeff Craig in here, but he's only been fighting at middleweight, so he hasn't really proved himself in 170. And I know there's not really much to prove because it's like a pretty like shallow, not like shallow division, but like I said, there's not a lot of like DBXers that are staying in DBX only to like start up divisions and stuff. You know what I mean? Holy fuck! I should have itched my head. Now I just look retarded, bro. All right. Let me just. Good enough. Anyway, yeah, just 170. We got Jaleel Willis, 2-0, versus Francisco Trinaldo. That's also 2-0. Dude's like 47 or 40 something. Francisco Trinaldo's fucking crazy, and I think Jaleel Willis can withstand the onslaught of Francisco Trinaldo, and I think if it goes to a decision. Because I don't think either of them are getting knocked out. Like, Jaleel Willis has if anyone's getting finished, it's Jaleel Willis. Let's be real. He couldn't finish Ryan J. He's not finishing Francisco Trinaldo. But that's the only fight to make in 170 that makes sense. Both two dudes are 2-0. They're entertaining. Jaleel Willis got a finish, and he just got a sudden death victory over Ryan Jet. And you had Francisco Trinaldo, who has that elbow TK over Eric Moon. I don't really rate Eric Moon in any sort of way. I don't really know him, so not that I don't rate him highly. I'm not familiar with him or whatever. But then you got who else did he fight? Nyanesh Iman. He fought, and that was a good fight or whatever. He really just bloodied him to beat the brakes off him. Surprised he didn't finish him, but that doesn't really say too much. But yeah, this is just violence, and I would pay to see that shit. But it definitely kind of gives like co-main event. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying Jaleel Willis and Francisco Trinaldo can't like headline a card, but like if we are doing like the double title fight, like fight nights or whatever, or like just cards, you know what I mean? You kind of got to do like 170 Jaleel Willis versus Francisco Trinaldo co-main with like Michael Garcia and Jairzinho Rosenstruck as like the main event. You know what I'm saying? But obviously that's a heavyweight one. But we're gonna get to 185, and the only one that makes sense right now is Bryan Battle versus Kevin Philippe. There has been some movement in the middleweight division, but it hasn't been like enough for like people to solidify themselves as like a good contender for like, you know, I guess Jeff Craig, which, would be cool, don't get me wrong. Cause I guess you can either do, but let me just say this. Kevin Philippe versus Brian Battle is the fight to make. But I think if you're not feeling Kevin Philippe, you gotta kind of just go with Jeff Craig. But I think we're kind of feeling Kevin Philippe versus Brian Battle more like, I think that just kind of sells more. You got Brazil, you got Brian Battle, and plus you can't take Brian Battle out of the mix for that because that's what's getting eyes on the main event or like the card in general. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I would love to see Jeff Craig do that shit, but I just think it's not his time yet. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously focused on MMA too. So if they want a champion DBX, they want someone who's like is willing to kind of be a face of that 170, 85 or 185 division, considering Brian Battle just lost to Johnny Eblin in PFL, bro. So he could really take off in DBX. That'd be crazy. I hope so. People are gonna make fun of him for going to DBX, but we need a star. Brian Battle could do that, but he needs to train more straight up boxing, like elbows, like DBX training. You know what I'm saying? Not just like MMA training, because that's only gonna take you so far. And I think that would have Kevin Philippe beating Brian Battle. Like that's not a crazy take to say. Like I could see that happening, but that's the fight to make at 185. Now we got 205. And, 205, you had like John Zay Silva, or not John Zay Silva. I think Kevin Philippe. I don't know. You have people that are moving throughout divisions. A lot of the light heavyweights went to 185 just because they probably could, and it wasn't like a short notice fight, if that makes sense. But I just say fuck it for fireworks. That's what's selling this fight at 205, the title fight. That's what's selling this. There's only one fight to make, brother. Travis St. John versus James Cannon. James Cannon's 2-1. That's a good record. Travis St. John is 1-2. Not the best record, but it is what it is. He brings fireworks in every single fight. That's what sells is this shit. People are gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be a fucking crazy fight." Boom, promote the fuck out of Travis St. John. James Cannon just being like the. Obviously, he's more technical than that. I'm fucking joking or whatever, but it's just like that shit would be so fucking entertaining. And it's two people who can make 205 easy. And I bet on short notice they can make 205. If you really need to scrap some shit together, but that tends to be a lot about the way like a lot of this stuff happens or whatever. But yeah, that would just be crazy. Tell me James Cannon versus Travis St. John. Travis St. John throwing his Superman punches. James Cannon just coming forward, just his face probably a little swollen. Travis St. John probably bleeding a little bit from the nose because James Cannon just fucking landing some good right hands. James Cannon has power, bro. But so does Travis St. John. But let me go to this heavyweight. I'll talk about it, and then I'll predict all these fights real quick, bro. Obviously, Michael Garcia versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik is the fight to make. And the fight below that for the next fight contender or whatever is Rob Perez versus Zach Pauga still, in my opinion. Like, it's just the promotability of Rob Perez. So he can honestly be in whatever position he wants as long as he's fucking, promoting the fight how he does. And then Zach Pauga just did what he did to Joseph White and kind of he's 2-1? Yeah, so that's obviously the fight to make is Rob Perez and Zach Pauga too, which is just entertaining within itself as well. But let's just go predict these fights because there's not really much to say about Jairzinho versus Michael. Women's 135, Paula Bancourt versus Kat Nelson. How do I see this fight going? I see a gritty Kat Nelson decision going here. Like a gritty. Like her face is a little swollen. Not cut though. Not bleeding, but her face is swollen because it doesn't seem like Paula really threw crazy amounts of elbows. She threw a couple, but not enough to make me think that there's guaranteed going to be some damage on Kat Nelson's face. But the right hand coming straight on the pipe. Kat Nelson, I assume being at Fusion Excel, a reputable gym, they would game plan around that. Either slipping, ripping, not slipping, ripping, slipping, slopping, ripping off that, or even, just slipping, uppercut, what I'm saying, hook to follow. Say she pulls, you throw across, boom, her head's coming right back into that shit. Anyway, just whatever, what I'm saying. You game plan, you're doing. The coaches are, better at me than all that shit. But I say Kat Nelson, gritty, 5-round. I can see a 49-46, but I'm just going to say 48-47 for like the gritty factor, if that makes sense. 135 division fights, Akeem Bashir versus Matt Muniz. That's a good one, bro. Like, that's a good one. I'm gonna go, and this is truly unbiased. Yes, I know Akeem, blah, 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 whatever. This is truly unbiased. I'm going with Akeem. It's the footwork. It's the elbows inside the clinch, the timing of the elbows when he can land them. He landed them on Gabriel Uret. He's gonna land them on Matt Muniz. You know what I'm saying? Um, Matt Muniz isn't gonna make it easy though. I think this goes to a decision. I don't think they like knock each other out or like finish each other. But I can see Matt cut under his eye a little bit right here from like an inside elbow, like Akeem kind of pops that. I see Akeem like eye just swollen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Loki a little like, it's like almost closed just from they're gonna be clinching hella. That's what's gonna be crazy about that fight. They'll be clinching hella, bro. And I'm never gonna give up on that fight ever. And I'm sorry if you can hear the construction outside, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's one to be crazy. 145 Montavious Ware versus Gabriel Urit. And, you know, I still have a Michael Garcia and Montavious Ware interview on the way. I'm going to text Montavious Ware, see if he can get a good time, get an update on that. But me and Michael Garcia are shooting for, you know, around 2:30 on Friday. But listen. Montavious Ware versus Gabriel Urit. You have to go with Gabriel Urit. You have to go with Gabriel Urit. And as much of a stan as I am for Montavious Ware and Gabriel Urit, because this fight, I don't even want to have to predict this fight. This gives me the same feeling as like the Rob Perez Michael Garcia fight. I don't even want to choose a side. But I did and I was wrong, and Michael Garcia stays undefeated. It is what it is. But in this fight, if I had to choose a side, bro, and this is my educated guess, I'm going with Gabriel Urit. Only because of the power, the elbows, the clinch, and just his boxing is actually layered. You know what I mean? Montavious Ware himself actually has layered, way more layered boxing than Gabriel Urit. Yes, Gabriel Urit is more of an MMA striker, blah, 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 whatever. Montavious Ware is going to outbox, might even outstrike, but the damage on Montavious Ware is going to be decent. I don't know if he's gonna bleed. I could see him an eye like I said. I hate having to say eye swollen up, but from the spinning back elbows, that's gonna hit somewhere right here. But as far as Montavious goes, he's gonna touch up with the jab, and he's gonna play it from a distance too. That's the thing. That's how he's gonna evade all the elbows. He's gonna play or box Gabriel Urit from the distance, but I just think Gabriel Urit just comes forward too much to make that fucking, you know, Looney Tunes tornado fight fucking happen. That he's just gonna touch on Montavious, and Montavious is gonna have to push off. But Gabriel, it's a small fucking ring. Gabriel's gonna come forward. He's gonna try to clinch. He's gonna fucking uppercut, hook. He's gonna throw everything, overhands, body, overhand, body, hook, uppercut, hook again, like just going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But Montavious Ware will do the same too. I think the power is really what's gonna make the difference, and I think just in the dirty boxing rule set, I just think Gabriel Urit has more of the rule set down than Montavious Ware does, because Montavious Ware is just that pure of a boxer. But it's been showing off, bro. He beat Luis Saldana. He beat Alexander Shank. It's going to be a good one regardless. That one's going to be a good fight. 155, Corey Jackson versus Milos Janicic. You have to go with Corey Jackson. And Milos Janicic and Corey Jackson, I'd say go band for band. Just like level-wise. Like Corey fought in the PFL. You know, I don't really know the biggest promotion Milos Janicic's fighting. I'm assuming it's going to be like UAE Warriors or like, I don't even know, like the Eagle FC bullshit, bro. I'm just playing. But he's good. Don't forget, I fuck with Milos Janicic. Yes, I'm just you know, I don't know his fucking promotion be finding, but obviously you see his MMA fights, you see his shit. His shit's tough. He's good. But same with Corey, bro. And I think the power from Corey Jackson was the overhands going to make the difference here. Milos Janicic, when he boxes, sometimes he doesn't have his other hand up all the time when he's throwing. You know what I'm saying? His head. Like he doesn't always have the other hand up. I can see Corey exposing that. But not even that. Yes, I'm an ATL goon. Yes, I fuck with Corey. Yes, I am now HTT bloodline with Corey just by association. Yes, I'm a bias and always gonna pick an ATL guy regardless and gaslight you and make you choose them too. Yes, I'm gonna do that. But I actually like unbiased think Corey would win by TKO in this fight. Knockdown, ground and pound. But like late, like round 4, maybe even round 5, Milos gets kind of tired. Corey's conditioning, I can trust it. I know for a fact I can trust it. So, but this is a really close fight too, and that's what sells too. That in Atlanta, oh my god, oh my god, that would be fucking crazy. But we'll go to 170. Jaleel Willis versus Francisco Trinaldo. The prediction. Does Francisco finish him or not? Like that's where I'm at with this fight. Does he finish him or not? Uh, Elbows are actually gonna be crazy in the clinch. They're gonna clinch hella. I'm not gonna say he's gonna fucking go like he did to fucking Eric Moon or whatever, but he's gonna damage up Jalil with that. I could see Jalil's like lip like splitting low key. Like that's gonna be disgusting. I could see his like maybe like a cut above the eye or under the eye just from these elbows. He's bleeding really bad. Maybe a doctor stoppage. I could see that because I just don't see Francisco finishing Jalil Willis. But I don't know. I'm not trying to count him out. But I just don't see him getting a finish. But I do see him beating him and battering him for like 5 rounds. But only reason I don't see the finish is because he couldn't finish Nine Notch Iman, and I rate Jalil Willis way better than Nine Notch Iman, obviously. Even though Francisco Trinaldo didn't win the fight or whatever, but Jalil Willis though in the clinch is good. He needs to stop not hugging and just doing this. He's not against Francisco Trinaldo, bro. You're gonna get, and it's over, bro. All it takes is one elbow. You saw Jeff Craig and Dusty Bailey fight, bro. All it takes is one clean, technical inside elbow. I don't know why I called it inside elbow, but it just like was like so perfect. And that's what I feel the need to call it. So, um, well, regardless, that prediction, I got Francisco Trinaldo by decision. 5 rounds. I can see it being like a 49-46. Or no. I got a 48-47. Like it's a little close, but I think Francisco Trinaldo makes like 3 rounds clear. You know what I mean? But 185, the prediction for that, I'm going with Kevin Philippe. Not that I can't trust Brian Battle. I do. He obviously is more like not allocated, bro. Accoladed. I think at one time I said allocated, and I just fucking watched that back. I was like, bruh. But accoladed or whatever than Kevin Philippe. But Brian Battle's 2 fights in DBX, he literally was fed cans and like almost like yes, he finished them in the first round in a minute. Yes, he did that. As he should though. If he didn't, I'd be worried. But before he finished them, or at least the second fight or whatever, it was like bad. Like he was actually getting touched up. Like he got rocked a couple times. I was like, no way, no way. And then yes, he rocked him, whatever, blah blah blah. Finished him with the uppercut. As dude was just like on his knees, bro, on some crazy shit. But I think Kevin Philippe's too good. And I think he wants it more than Brian Battle, if that makes sense. But I think that's what it comes down to. How I see it happening or going like whatever. I see Kevin Philippe. I don't know because when Brian Battle like digs deep in a fight, whatever, no Diddy or whatever, he really like gets like like tapped in, like locked in. So he's like pretty like good, but and he gets scrappy, but it's like a good technical scrappiness. But I'm gonna go Kevin Philippe by TKO like round 3 or round 2, honestly. But yeah, I think it'd be good though. I think it'd be good. I just think that Brian Battle. I mean, considering he might fight in the PFL again, yeah. But if he does lose and he has to come to DBX, like I just see him not taking it as seriously, considering he couldn't even like make weight. All that stuff. I'm not trying to hate, bro. I fuck with Brian Battle like heavy, but being unbiased, I got Kevin Philippe in that. 205, we got Travis St. John versus James Cannon. James Cannon, his right hand is gonna find Travis St. John's chin, and Travis St. John's gonna get dropped. And I don't think he's gonna get like flatline KO, but I think he's gonna get up, be a little rocked, because he does that every time he gets dropped. He's a little rocked, whatever. If he comes back up right away, obviously, if he's on the ground, gets like 5 seconds to recover, he's more like stabilized or whatever. But I think that James Cannon's right hand, I can trust it too much, and it will find Travis St. John in the midst of that whole firefight of the 30 seconds that it will be. So that fight would be really fucking crazy too. But I think, yeah, in the first round, James Cannon. Or maybe like early second round. I mean, I think in the early second round, James Cannon might be a little tired just from the pace of the first. So Travis St. John could do it in the early second if he survives the initial onslaught from James Cannon, which is likely, but you never know. Uh, Anyway, last one, heavyweight, Michael Garcia versus Rosenstruck. I think, bro, like, uh, I don't even know, bro. I'm gonna go Michael Garcia because he's undefeated, and I need like he proved me wrong against Michael Garcia, and I could see him doing it against Rosenstruck, but Rosenstruck is decorated, shit's going crazy. He probably hasn't been focusing on training though because of all the stuff going on in his life. So that's why I see Michael Garcia really like having that advantage over him, considering even though Michael Garcia is back to working, training when he can or whatever, has a fucking family or whatever, but he did all that and is the champ, so that's nothing new. And he managed to make that happen or whatever, but Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Michael Garcia by like third or fourth round, like finish because Rosenstruck will like to get a little tired. He's a little bigger. Garcia's gonna lighter man skill that into a fourth round finish. I could see that. The elbows are gonna add up. He's not. Jorginho's gonna get his chin tested too many times from the elbows. The right hand, obviously, we saw in the Rob Perez fight that shit's fucking powerful. As long as he finds it in the right thing, Jorginho's gonna feel that. And if he eats a couple of them, his chin is gonna be a little bit depleted. But same goes for Michael Garcia. Rosenstruck got good initial power, and I think his power does kind of last through the last couple rounds or whatever, or like of the 5 round fight. But I just trust Michael's more, if that makes sense. Plus the Mexican will, the grit, the grittiness, like I said, to come forward. I just go with Michael Garcia by like fourth or maybe even fifth round TKO or KO. That'd be fucking crazy. But that's all the fights and all the predictions for each weight class and each title for Fank in the 45 to heavyweight division, not 35, whatever. But if you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for all these DBX videos or whatnot. I still have to do the matchmaking for every fighter after DBX6, but I don't know because I feel like when I did that, I match made a lot of people up with like people on the card already, but it's like a lot of people don't even like really like stick around like to like prove that they want to like be a face of DBX or be a face of a division or like you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of hard to really like do that, but I'll still drop it though. I'll drop some good ones, some ones that I actually feel are like good. I'll just DBX matches to making DBX. That's it. Not even every fight or nothing, but I'll do that. Enough of the app. This is a little long video. Hey, you DBX fans, subscribe, bro. I'm on that. I'm on that timing, bro. I got the interviews with them. I got the fucking, I'm predicting. I got the recap. Now me and Corey are gonna do every card. We're gonna break it down. Break it down post fights. So it's gonna be good. Look forward to that. Thank you guys. You guys have a good day. Appreciate you.